Hi, this is Dr. Stephanie Wautier, and I'm the host of Conversations with a Chiropractor. This is not a health how-to, but rather a conversation with some amazing people I've had the pleasure of being with on my journey of life. Think of it more like Tuesdays with Maury, a fireside chat, or chicken soup for the soul. Grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and enjoy this conversation with a chiropractor. Today, I am joined by the founder of Moxie Moms 906, Megan. Megan, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I'm honored. I truly am. Thank you for having me.
October is Infant and Pregnancy Loss Awareness Month.
Yes, it is.
And Moxie Moms is an inclusive nonprofit organization deeply dedicated to supporting mothers who have experienced the profound loss of a baby through stillbirth or miscarriage.
Yes.
So you have started this nonprofit in Marquette, Michigan, which is so amazing. It's pretty new, right?
Yes. So we started in this year. February was when I got everything going. But this has been something that's been in my mind and my heart since I lost my daughter in 2021. So this has been something that I've been working on and working through, and everything came at the right moment this year, and I was able to really put it out there and find these beautiful, amazing, intelligent women and birthing people in our community that wanted to help support. So.
When you lost your daughter in 2021, would you say that you felt there was a lack of support, like a lack of community resources?
Completely. It was so isolating to have gone through that, and then to really not have anybody understand or be able to connect with on that type of loss and on that level. Because for the most part, people just want to not talk about it and want to shut it down because it's so uncomfortable to talk about the loss of a child, so it's something that I was so isolated in, and I knew that I needed for my healing, my own healing, and to process this grief and trauma that I went through, that I needed to share and connect with people that truly understood on a level of the physical level, what I went through, what my body was going to continue to go through on an emotional level and a spiritual, all different levels. It was just such a profound experience to be isolated in that I really couldn't contain it. I needed to share my story with people that understood, and that's really how everything evolved. It was just, I was just needed to get it out, and I think it benefited me and then turned into Moxie Moms.
Yeah. And you've already done so much. You've got the community garden.
Yes.
Downtown Marquette. Tell us a little bit about that.
So we have a green space. So it's a memorial that people can go to. We've had different organizations around town donate flowers. It is a beautiful space. So it's literally come to life. And we have had multiple events where we have brought rocks for people to be able to write either their last name, the date of their loss, their child or infant's name on these rocks. And then we have them sealed. So they are placed all throughout the memorial garden. And actually, the Northern Construction Club is donating a bench. So we just got the renderings this week of the bench. So there'll be a bench there with a plaque, and it's just a spot for people to come and find solace and be able to really memorialize or just sit and think. It's a beautiful spot that it just shows that we are here and that this community is here to support however we can, even if it's just going and sitting there. That's our mission. So
it's beautiful. It's amazing. And you've got a Facebook page?
Yes. So we have 2 different Facebook pages. We do have a community Facebook page where anybody can join. We post all of our events there. And then if you've experienced a loss yourself, we do have a private group. It's a safe space for people to share stories, and it's private. So you get an invite to it, but I'm more than happy to share it with anybody. And there's a lot of people that have not directly experienced loss that are in that group that are just there to understand how to show support for somebody that they love that has gone through it. So we share some deeper resources on that more private page, but it's open to anybody that wants to be a part of it, to learn more, to advocate, to share the resources. And yeah, so.
That's amazing. Something that our community definitely was lacking and needed. And you're filling this need from the void based of your own horrible, tragic experiences.
Yes. It was, like I said, something that I just inside me. Why is there not something out there for families like mine that have experienced this loss, that really have nowhere to turn and have no resources outside of being discharged from the hospital? I had so many things that happened to my body after having a baby, but not leaving with a baby, that I wasn't informed about, that I wasn't educated on. And I had wonderful care.
Yeah.
My experience, though I wish it upon nobody, my experience with the healthcare was phenomenal. And part of that is their lack of resources as well. Yeah. And it takes a specific person to be able to step up in a stranger's darkest hour to provide that type of compassion and empathy when you don't know what they're going through, but you know that it's the darkest, deepest thing that they've ever experienced. Yeah. So I can't say enough good things about the care that my husband and I received. But yeah, it was just overwhelming, the lack of resources afterwards. And to have to experience all of that physically and then to have to go online and seek out resources for myself, for my husband, for our daughter, our living daughter. It was hard. It was, but also it opened up my eyes to what this community was lacking. And so we've done and built a lot of great things because of that experience. And yeah, it's just been...
I don't know if you want to go to this place. Do you want to talk a little bit about what some of those unexpected things were that were happening to your body? Or not? You don't have to.
Yeah, a lot of the times as a mom, there's a lot of different things that happen to your body after you give birth. And that doesn't change when your baby doesn't live. So your body still goes through the hormonal processes, the postpartum, all of that. Your milk still comes in. And these are just continuous things that nobody really prepares you for when you leave the hospital without your baby. And a lot of other women that I have spoke with and birthing people that have experienced loss have talked about their postpartum anxiety and postpartum depression and psychosis that had happened, but it's not looked at like it would be if we had a child to bring home. So there's just, it's a
like not validated. Like it's not as, it's taken as seriously because
correct,
you didn't come home with a baby.
Right. But my body didn't know that. So it was a lot of figuring out on my own.
Wow.
And it was hard. But being able to relate to people that have gone through this experience has been so healing and purposeful. It just gives me so much hope in this organization and what we're doing and our mission, and to continue being an advocate and sharing my stories and getting people involved in something that's pretty taboo and not talked about.
Yeah.
And it's important that we do talk about it. So.
Absolutely. And it's important even for people like me. You know, I'm not a therapist, but I do talk to my patients as they're coming in. And I might have to give them a resource. I might not know what to do for them or how to do it. But if I could direct them to someone who could give them the resources, I'm sure that there are therapists that you're connecting with, people that can help in that grief process.
Yeah. And it's really a specific population of people that are going through this. So it's you need a specific healthcare provider that has the extra experience, extra credential in maternal wellness and that type of grief and bereavement and loss. So really there wasn't anything up here that really was available right when I needed it, the second I was discharged. So I actually found an organization out of Ferndale, downstate.
Oh, okay.
So I am still with them. I do telehealth, but they specialize in maternal mental health and reoccurring loss, late-term loss, like all of these specific categories of loss that
But the average therapist might not have experience with.
Right.
And might not do that client justice.
Right. So it was definitely a lot of research that I needed to put in to find somebody that was able to really help in my darkest time and in when I needed help the most. Yeah, I can share that resource because they were a game changer for me. And
That's wonderful.
And they do telehealth, and it's called Honey for Moms.
Oh,
So
I love it.
yeah.
It's sad to me that you had to try to navigate this on your own when you're going through this deep loss of a child and you're having all of these physical things happen and you're scrambling in the dark to try to find, where can I get help?
Yeah.
Who can help me?
Yeah, and it's what I had to do. I had to do it for my husband. I had to do it for our living daughter. I had to find a way to come back to being Megan again and finding that part of me that I so easily could have lost, that so easily could have taken who I am away. And I knew that I needed to do that for them. Maybe not so much for myself, but I needed to do that for them. And so that was really what drove me to continue to seek out help and resources and really advocate for women that have experienced this and birthing people that don't have the support system that I had to be able to get through something like this. Because it's amazing how easily you can connect with a complete stranger on something that you've both experienced like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I couldn't even fathom that. I haven't lost a child. I haven't lost a pregnancy. And I can't have that exact same notion of that enormity of the grief, you know?
And it's not if, it's when. Because 1 in 4 women experience this, or 1 in 4 birthing people experience this type of loss. So even if you've not directly experienced it yourself, you are going to know somebody and love somebody that is going to go through this. It's not if, it's is.
Yeah.
So just having that communication as well and being able to share, I know this resource for somebody because it's there, it exists, and I love you, so here it is. How can I support you? So it's just, we need everybody to be involved.
We do, and we need everyone to be aware. I do have several friends who've had infertility struggles and or who've lost several babies.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that societally we want people to move on, right? Just get over it. Just move on. That's the societal expectation. There isn't this sort of grace, this sort of space that we should really give for this grief.
Yeah.
That's why I really love the idea that this bench will be there because it can be very personal and very private. And that might be the first step that a woman takes to healing from that grief or processing that grief.
Yeah. And
It's awesome.
it's something that if you've gone through loss, you never forget. You can't. And as a person that's gone through multiple losses, it's there and it's always there. So being able to provide an ear or a hug to people that understand, that are going through it, and to just say, I'm here, whatever you need. I've made some amazing connections with people around the community by just sharing my story and saying, I know exactly what you're going through. I know exactly how you feel. And not only that, but holding that in. You
It
see it.
damages you.
Yes. You've seen how much of a mess my body has been from stress and loss. It's not healthy.
No, it's not. It absolutely isn't. So I so commend you, not only for being so diligent with your own health and healing and doing this for your husband and your daughter, but just saying, I'm going to do this for the community.
Yeah.
Because there was a need that I saw.
Yeah.
I think it's astounding that you've started this organization.
Thank you. It's evolved so much, and the help and support. We have a board of, I believe there's 10 of us, or there's 9 of us. So we have a ton of support, and we're growing, and we just want the community to know that we're here. Because like I said, it's not if it's when a loss happens. And any type of perinatal loss, if you have an early miscarriage, if you have a late term loss, if you have a stillbirth, if you have an infant or child loss, like this is what our group is here for. And so that spans a lot of families and birthing people that have experienced a loss within that area, because it's a lot of people that are affected by something that we don't talk about nearly enough or have enough support for people.
Or even the language, even what to say to someone who's gone through that, or the right thing to do. And I think it's amazing even that this organization exists so that people can share.
Yeah. And just, it's so cathartic to be able to share and to be able to just remember your babies. I, for so long, was afraid that I was going to be the only one that said Delaney's name. I was fearful of that. And I have just continued on her death anniversary. We say her name. Our daughter Penelope knows her sister Delaney is in heaven. It is a conversation that still happens in my home every day, you know, and that was something that I was very fearful of, that as a mother, I was going to be the only one that remembered her. It is so far from that now, but that is because I've been so open and I continue to fight for her to be remembered. And she was real. She was mine. She was here. And I don't ever want anybody to forget. I'm sorry.
Tuesday, October 15th is a really big event that you guys are putting on.
Yes. It's the Global Wave of Light. It's an annual event that happens across the globe at 7 p.m., whatever time zone you're in. It's you light a candle in remembrance or memorial of an infant, child, any sort of perinatal loss. And so Moxie Moms has an event on Tuesday at 7 p.m. We would ask people to come a little earlier because at 7 p.m. we will light the candles. But we invite the community to come down and share a story or light a candle in remembrance and to show support for the families that have gone through. So it'll be on Presque Isle. It'll be right next to the ice cream shop. So in that pavilion right there. So yeah, there'll be a group there and we'll have the rocks that people can write names on or whatever they'd want to put into the memorial garden. So that'll be available. We'll have resources and yeah, it'll just be a really quick event and something to bring the community together to share more awareness of what goes on.
That's wonderful. Now, if someone is traveling or they're somewhere at that moment, at that 7 p.m., it'll be like a collective moment of remembering. So no matter where you are, I hope there's people listening that are not just in Marquette, or maybe they can't get there. They might have an event. But 7 p.m. down at Presque Isle Pavilion. And come a little bit early. Now, if someone has experienced a loss and they're not quite ready to be public with it, or they feel still a little bit guarded with their grief, could they make their own rock and leave it at the community garden, or do they need to come through the organization?
No, we're more than happy to take any rocks that people would like to put there. We just seal them so they'll hold up to the harsh winter that we have. We're going to take them out to make sure that they stay put and that people don't take them. But yeah, if somebody would want to do that, and if you want a rock, we can drop one off. You just contact us on Facebook, and we've done that before. But yeah, we seal them all so they stay intact. And yeah, but we're more than happy to share.
Now, do you guys take donations? I'm sure that there's a lot of money that's needed to keep up the garden and share these resources. If someone wanted to donate to this organization, how could they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go to our Facebook page. We have a Venmo account. We also have a PayPal account that people can donate to the Wave of Light. They can donate to the Memorial Garden. Each May, we're going to be doing a Little Angels Memorial Walk. So last May, we did a walk around the island. It was a beautiful day. There was probably between 70 and 80 people that attended.
That's amazing.
Children, health professionals, nurses that have experienced loss with families have gotten together and we walked the island. And it was such a beautiful moment because for so many reasons, but a lot of the times after a loss, the nurses that care for these families don't have connections with these families afterwards. So they are with these families during the hardest, darkest time of their lives. And then after discharge, they don't really have an opportunity to see these families or check in on these families again. And in a small town like ours, you'll run into them at the grocery store, or that's not where we want to run into somebody the second time we're going to meet them. So a lot of the memorial walk is to encourage healthcare providers to come back and see these families that they haven't seen. Like maybe these families have grown and they have more babies, but it's just another time for the families and healthcare providers to connect again in a safe space in a way that memorializes both of their experiences. And we walked the island. There's nothing more beautiful than that. And it was such a beautiful day. So we will do that again in May, but we'll post everything on our social media. But yeah, so we have a lot of donation opportunities. The walk being one. We have our signs at the green space, so at the garden. If people walk by and they want to donate, they can. But also just reaching out to us on Facebook, and that's super helpful. The money that we can raise, it goes right back into the community and supporting this nonprofit.
That's so wonderful. I love that idea that these healthcare providers can come back and connect. Because at the beginning of my introduction with this podcast, we are obligated not to share any private health-related information. So truly, even if I did see someone at the grocery store, I'm not technically supposed to even acknowledge them, because that would mean then their partner might say, "How do you know Stephanie?" Or so that's so beautiful that you get to heal together in that, and that they get to see, that process of grief and healing, how that's gone. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, it was a beautiful, and I know it'll grow. We were pleasantly surprised with how many people attend and showed up to support not only our nonprofit, but the community. And it was a really beautiful event. And to make those connections and to see the nurses or the doctors that you hadn't seen, and to just show up in a way that was different than the last time you saw them, and to really connect on a personal level. Because like you said, not being able to address something in public when you unexpectedly run into them, and in a small town, it happens all the time. So it's just another opportunity for people to reconnect in a safe space and remember and honor and share stories.
That's wonderful. So on Tuesday during this Wave of Light, will people speak poems? Would you, if you were there, have a poem about Delaney? People can share things freely at this Wave of Light?
Yes. And we encourage it. It's really hard to speak up, but we have a lot of great people involved in our group that are so willing to share their stories and get people to connect or feel heard. You don't have to share to feel heard. We will have a couple readings. We will have one of the husbands of a board member playing the guitar. And it's just going to be a really beautiful event. And like I said, it's not going to be that long, but it's going to be just an opportunity again to get together and to honor.
And to heal. To keep healing from this profound grief. That's amazing. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you that you've stepped out of your comfort zone, and you've been brave, and you've been vulnerable to share this with me, and now, the community and all of our listeners. Is there anything else that you'd want to say in closing, either about Moxie Moms or about infant loss and pregnancy loss? Anything else that you'd want to share?
Yeah, as I said, it was one of the most isolating experiences that I've ever gone through. So just to be able to let people know that you are not alone in this, and that there is an actual group of people that have gone through exactly what you're going through or went through, and can really understand to the depths of what you're going through. And we're still here, and we're sharing our stories, we're sharing our babies' names, and we want to help, we want to support, because it's not something that anybody has to do alone. And we're stronger in numbers. And truly what this organization is about is just supporting people that go through something that is huge. It's life-altering.
I hate to say you'll never be the same. Delaney will always be with you, always in your heart. That experience of losing her, you can't in 5 years not remember. You can't say, I'm over that. This is the enormity of losing a child.
Yeah. And I'm her mother. If I don't remember her, if I don't honor her, who else will? And so it's my job to make sure that people know who she is and that she is such a part of our family and our lives and forever will be. And I want people to know that's okay and to be able to share their babies and their experience and their loss and to know that somebody else is right there with them who understands how important it is to say their names and to acknowledge their birth dates, their death dates, any anniversaries, because it's nothing in life, I'm speaking on my experience, but nothing in life happens where I don't either wish she was here, wish she was a part of it. There's no Christmases where I forget that she's not here or that I should have a 3-year-old with my 6-year-old. There's just, it's constant, it's daily. And I'm healing, I'm on this journey, but I'll never be healed. And to be able to just let people know that they're not alone is really my goal of all of this.
Thank you so much, Megan, for being on this podcast, for starting the Moxie Moms 906. I'm going to share all the links. I can't wait to see how Tuesday goes with that wave of light. And it's just been an honor.
Yes.
And I think we should dedicate today to Delaney.
Oh, thank you so much.
This podcast to Delaney.
Yes, thank you for having me. It was a wonderful opportunity to share not only my story, but the community resources and what we have out there right here in Marquette for people. And even if you're not in the Marquette area, please reach out. We've got people that we can connect with anywhere. And
that's the brilliance of like technology and social media. Yeah. Wherever you are, wherever you're listening.
Yes.
Yeah. That Moxie Moms Facebook page will help to direct you to those resources.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you so much for listening. If you've enjoyed this podcast, would you please rate it, review it, like, or subscribe? You can find me on social media at wautierwellness.com, Dr. Stephanie Wautier on Instagram, or Wautier Wellness Chiropractic and Massage on Facebook. And I'm so curious where your next conversation will take you.